prize is here, and I will take it.
The light heavyweight prize is up for the taking in this one, Meat, and this is one that I've honestly been looking forward to probably more than any fight in a long time. It's Glover Teixeira, the current champ, 33-7, coming in as a decent plus 175 dog against the Samurai, Jiri Prochazka, 28-3-1, about a minus 200 favorite, and basically a ninja, a samurai personified. This dude lives a different type of lifestyle. Is a different kind of animal, and was reading something earlier today about how he used to be a partier, Conor McGregor style. His coach gives him a book on how to become a samurai, and Jiri takes it literally and honestly becomes one. Moves to the woods, just sort of reinvents his lifestyle, and look what it's done for his career. I mean, this is a guy on a double-digit win streak. He's undefeated in the UFC and has finished all of his opponents. Some of them have been with a little bit of danger. I mean, against Dominic Reyes, he was kind of rocked for a little bit. When that fight hit the ground, you don't know if Jiri was out or what happened in that one, but there were some threatening moments for sure. And even in his debut against Volkan No Time Uzdemir, he was kind of rocked for a little bit in that one too. So Jiri always is someone who is going to put himself in danger, but he's down to do so because he knows that he can put you out ultimately in the end. And it's been a long time since Jiri even collected a loss. King Mo knocked him out way back in 2015. And again, it's just been kind of smooth sailing. Not, I don't want to say smooth sailing for Jiri, but the fact that he's been able to pick up win after win really showcases the level of talent that this guy possesses. And he's going to need everything that he's got against Glover, who is also on a beautiful win streak. We saw him most recently take the belt from our Polish brother Jan. That was in October of 2021. It was kind of easy work. I mean, he did it. It was almost a flawless victory, and one that he was able to win with a second round rear naked. And he did the same thing to Thiago Santos before that. He TKO'd Lionheart Smith in the 5th round, even though that fight should have been stopped in the 3rd round. Has that split decision over Nikita Krylov, beat your boy Iwan Kutelaba, and his last loss was to Corey Anderson, who we know consistently makes the argument that he's the best 205er in the world. So what are your thoughts on this one? It's interesting to always see Glover as a dog. It seems like only like the hardcores are giving Glover the respects he deserves, but Vegas is always sleeping on the dude. Do you think he's worthy of being slept on in this one, or is Jiri just going to walk through him? Who you got?
Yeah, no, man, this is such a tough fight for both of these guys. Such a good one, and what I'm really curious to see is, what happens when this hits the mat, if it does. Because if Glover can get on top, it is going to be, I think, a bad night for Yuri. Now, will it hit there? I don't know. We know Yuri is very slick on the ground, on top, from the bottom, wherever. But like, is he Glover slick? I don't know. Glover seems pretty unstoppable when he gets you to the ground, and if he gets on top. If you're on top of him, that's a different story. Jury, I think, can hold his own. But if he gets on top of you, I just don't know if Jury will be able to get back up. That's what I'm very curious to see. But I have to roll with the 29-year-old. I mean, it's just so hard. Like, Glover's been looking unstoppable for the last, 5+ years. But he's 42, and Jerry's been looking unstoppable since 2015. And he's only 29. And man, he has a lot of experience. He's built for this moment, and I think Jerry will be ready for this whole thing from beginning to end. If it goes to those championship rounds, he should be ready. I've seen some savage fights, long rounds with him, so I don't see a gas tank being an issue. The only thing I see an issue is if he maybe gasses a little and Glover can get that ground and pound in the 4th, 5th round. But I'm kind of predicting a Jury knockout first round, to be honest. Glover is not really like known to be the best head movement and avoid punches. He gets rocked, but Jury hits harder and hits different than a lot of these other fighters that have rocked Glover, and Glover somehow survives. I just don't see Jury not getting the finish if he does get rocked. Now, if somehow Glover gets to the ground first round, I think that's a wrap, boys, and Glover takes it. But I'm going to lean Jury on this purely because the younger, fresher, hungrier, new fighter, and I think he's going to come out and get this first round finish.
Yeah, great stuff. And I was going to ask you, how long you anticipated this fight going, because I know the over/under is only 1.5, and 1.5, or the under is getting the favorite in this one. So seems as though Vegas thinks this thing's going to be over quickly as well. And I do think that, Glover's stand-up is a little bit underrated. Like, most of the commentary I'm hearing about this fight is that while this thing's on the feet, Jiri's going to have a huge advantage. While it's on the mat, Glover will obviously have a huge advantage. So I think that's a little bit misleading because, to your point, Prochazka is obviously he's no Glover level on the ground, but he's definitely competent, similar in the way that Glover is competent on the feet. So I'm curious to see if there is any actual nullification going on, or if it is, depending on where the fight is at, simply one-way traffic, Glover on the ground or Jiri on the feet. But I do think Glover's stand-up is a little bit better than advertised, and if this thing hits the mat, I think you're spot on. I think that Glover is going to be able to have his way with Jiri. I saw an interesting clip about Jiri, how he says he's not down to play the jiu-jitsu game. His entire thing when on the mat is just to try and win by a KO TKO. He doesn't play the jiu-jitsu games, is what he mentioned. And I'm stoked. I hope that this thing hits the mat because I want to see if he tries to somehow get a TKO down there, or if the sort of boa constrictor like squeeze of Teixeira is too much for Jiri to even get anything going off of. Because when we see Glover down there, I mean, he just like possesses not only like the greatest technique possible, but it's coupled with that old man strength, that 42-year-old dad bod, and I don't know, it's seemingly untouchable when down there. So very curious to see what it looks like if it gets there. 65% though is with you. They're rolling with Jiri. Mainly all of it is Brown. About 90% of it is Jiri by knockout. So seems as though Tapology is rolling with you there, Meat. And conversely, 35% is rolling with the glove. Most of it is Copper for the sub. So interesting to see those metrics for sure. I hope this thing lasts the later rounds. You mentioned the 4th and 5th. I hope it gets that far because I guess I'm anticipating this thing being probably 3 to 4 minutes long, but if it's somehow 3 to 4 rounds long, I'm going to be excited. But in this one, I love both these guys. It's one of those fights where you hate to see anyone lose, but I got to roll with Glover. You know I've been riding Glover throughout this streak, and every time I'm picking Glover Teixeira as a dog, he ends up cashing. So I think he's going to find a way to get this one done against Jiri. I think he's going to submit him, but you definitely hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that Glover does take a lot of shots. So I'm hopeful that it's not like a Gustafsson versus Teixeira type fight where it's just a standing punching bag and ultimately the Brazilian Pitbull goes to sleep. But ultimately, I think he's going to be able to weather the storm, get this thing to the mat where he needs it to be. And I like Glover by sub, but if it's under 1.5 or over, I honestly cannot put a finger on it because who knows, right? Who knows? But I'm going Glover by sub. Any last thoughts?
No, such a great fight. Let us know in the comments who you got. You rolling with Meat or you rolling with Boy and taking the glove, man.